Information fueled.
Opinion driven. This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
We talk news.
Good morning. I'm Dan Mandis. I may as well say that after last night. Anything goes in this society.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everybody. How you doing, Keith? How you doing there, Josh? Good to have you boys along here. Glad to be on in Memphis this morning. Sitting in for Don. That's about the way it felt last night. Good Lord. 5:07. Good morning. It is Friday. And the big boy press conference was last night.
Yes, sir.
And did you boys catch it?
You mean the big boy filibuster?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
All I heard was him mistaking his vice president for Trump and his and President Zelensky for Putin. That's all I needed to hear.
Oh, that's
all I needed.
Now that you brought this up, let's play these gaffes, shall we? This was earlier in the day when he was going to introduce, of course, Zelensky.
Now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it.
It's over.
Do you know?
My goodness.
Do you know what I'll use this as an analogy. That'd be like introducing your present wife by your ex-wife's name.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
That's exactly what that's like.
Or your affair.
Yes.
Only this time it's a man who's murdering this other man's people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly. Oh man, you talk about a gap that was gaping. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's right off the bat, man.
Yes, it was. And then later on, of course,
it got worse.
He's asked about his vice president, and this is how it went.
My question for you is, how are you incorporating these developments into your decision to stay? And separately, what concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
There we go.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one.
Start there, number one.
I got nothing.
Great start.
I got nothing.
Now, Ken, I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to Murphy's show, which was quite entertaining.
Yes.
And plus, we waited. See, this is what's so goofy. I did away with my nap yesterday because I said I want to stay awake because I want to wait for this big boy press conference.
Big boy.
The big boy press conference. And so I'm waiting. And I keep checking. I'm going, they moved it. Now it's...
Yeah, it was supposed to be at 4:30 Middle Tennessee time. Then by the time I got off the air at 11:30, they had changed it to 5:30 Middle Tennessee time.
Yes.
And it actually didn't happen until after 6:30.
Yes.
Right after 6:30.
Yeah, so we were basically waiting for 2 hours.
I told you, it's when he woke up from his nap.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, young Josh. Thanks for letting us know. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it probably was right after he got up from his nap. That's why he couldn't keep everything together. But you said there was a young girl that was
at the press conference there was a girl I'm thinking is with the White House,
right,
who has the microphone to take to the reporters who the president is to call on to ask their question. Well, before the president could get the reporter's name out, the young woman with the microphone is already headed toward the reporter.
Well, this wasn't set up, was it?
Yeah, so Biden is, he finishes talking, and then he's, looking down at a card, and he's pausing. Then he says the name. Well, the young lady is already headed to that reporter. So they already knew where these reporters were sitting that he was calling on, obviously, because they had the names on the card. But what struck me is how much time he spent on things that people in this country right now just do not care about.
That's all it was.
And he went on and on, which a veteran politician knows how to do.
Right.
When you are facing adversity like he is, he filibustered.
Yes, he just kept talking.
He just kept talking. I'll have to say this. He didn't have a lot of slip-ups while he was talking. It's just nobody knew what he was talking about.
No,
nobody cared about what he was talking about.
No, and I agree with you. He was better than I thought he would be, but he's still, it's still there that he's not up for the job.
Well, it was very controlled.
Yes, and this
was a very controlled situation. They were not going to allow, it was obvious they were not going to allow certain reporters to ask questions.
Like Peter Doocy.
Yeah.
But no, that was the whole thing. But I think that's what turned me off the most was that they had billed this as no holds barred, open press conference, big boy press conference. Unscripted bull.
Yeah.
It just came across very, very scripted. And like you said, Ken, they already knew who they were going to call on.
Oh, yeah.
And the poor guy, when he would start going to the time that was taken after his statement to look to see who he's going to call on next was just painful.
Well, and that's whenever the young woman with the microphone, she was already headed that way before he's even got the name of the reporter out.
Here's an idea. She may have wanted to look behind her and make sure that he was see where he was at first.
Right.
But no, it was a train wreck. It was a total train wreck. And I have to give Murphy credit because, my gosh, he was funny. If you folks don't listen to Murphy.
He had a field day.
Yeah. If you folks don't listen to Murphy, and of course, today he's on the drive, sitting in for Brian Wilson. But I have never enjoyed I would have really been totally disappointed if I'd watched that thing yesterday. But listening to Murphy, it was worth it.
Christmas came early for him.
Yeah, it sure did.
The thing that, to me, the thing that this country cares about right now is how much it is costing just to have the things that we have to have. And his only answer was, I need more time to finish the job, which basically means empty promise.
That's all it is. How long has this man been?
You got us in this mess.
Hell, man, you've been in Washington, D.C. for how long?
Yes. And I'm sorry, but, the fact that inflation is ticking down, yes, inflation is ticking down.
Not by much.
But prices are still elevated, way above where they were when this man took office.
Exactly. And the thing is, Ken, if we were living with true capitalism, we would not be seeing a small growth of 1%.
Yeah.
We would be seeing, it would be much different. We would be living in a different America right now. That's the difference. Well, Donald Trump also had a lot to say about Joe, mixing him up with the vice president. We'll have his comments coming up next. It's 5:15. Time to check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, Jack. Looks like we're going to have a hot weekend ahead. In fact, several days. Sunshine throughout the whole period. High today of 95. Over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, both in the upper 90s. We could hit 100 degrees on Monday. So get ready for all the heat. Right now, we're at 71 degrees on Nashville's Music Row. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You can watch the radio show on Super Talk TV. It should be up and running. You can find it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and also 997WTN.com. Download our app or different apps that you can pick the show up on. You can listen on your phone. And, of course, you can listen on the radio. And 615-737-9986, the big super text line. Let's go to the super text line, shall we? Let's visit real quick. Oh, yeah, Mario's got it right. Finish the job. Yeah, right. Yeah, we're not completely bankrupt yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, we got. Yeah. I'm telling you, I didn't see, by the time I got done with it and had to go to bed myself, I had not seen him take one question on immigration.
No.
Not one.
Oh, no, and he won't.
No.
No, they're not going to have that be brought up.
Absolutely not.
And in fact, I'm telling you, the news media, and especially the Biden administration, is very happy right now that this is taking up so much space, him being, is he fit or not? Yeah. Because it's taking all the eyes off all the problems he's created.
Yep.
Because they're beginning to really boil over. And we'll have more stories about what's happening in our country thanks to this administration.
Now, I do take that. He did say one thing about immigration, but he put it back on Trump, who actually did a lot more to stem the tide of illegal immigration than this president ever did, because this president basically opened the border.
Oh, he did.
But he claimed that his administration has done a much better job on immigration than his predecessor.
Well, the fact checkers say no, and we'll have that story as well coming up, Brother Ken. There were so many lies told last night amongst some of the gaffes that he had. But that last night did not, I guarantee you, didn't
change George Clooney's mind, I bet.
No, it didn't change Michael Douglas. It didn't change Barack Obama. Come on, George, put out another one. Anyway, more. I like Philip. Yes, Philip, this happened to me as well. He said, I went to sleep during Biden's press conference. And I hate to admit, but I was falling asleep too. I fell asleep. I think it was around, 7:15?
Yeah.
Because I had not planned to stay awake to listen to it that long. But I fell asleep as well. And Donald Trump, he didn't fall asleep. Oh no, he roasted Joe Biden after Biden's big boy presser yesterday, where he
sitting in Mar-a-Lago with a Diet Coke, just laughing and with tweeting,
eating a cheeseburger.
Oh yeah.
Well, he had put out on Truth Social, he said, Crooked Joe begins his big boy press conference with, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, though I think she was not grateful. Even though I think she was not qualified to be president. Great job, Joe.
Yeah.
And they say right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
A reporter asked as Biden sought to leave the stage after answering the questions from 10 reporters. Biden responded with a smile saying, listen to him, and walked off stage. Weird. Yeah. There's a reporter calling out Biden, calling Kamala Harris Vice President Trump, and he said, listen to him.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, here we go.
Okay.
We got the sound. Let's go.
This concludes.
Respectfully, earlier you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Listen to him.
Yeah, we will listen.
Right. So listening to him is like, believe him? Like, that didn't make
that doesn't make much sense.
He was supposed to do a classy one-liner. That's what he tried to do and obviously failed.
Yes. So basically, Trump's going to have a field day with all of this.
He doesn't need to say a word. Honestly, he can not talk for the rest of this election period and win.
Well, the thing is, if he'll just talk about what he's going to do, what he has done that has been positive, if he will just stay the course.
Stick to the issues,
dude, you will win this thing. And try and quit making it all about you.
That's the tough part.
That is the tough part. One of the greatest presidents that ever did that, if you ever listened to any of his speeches, was George H.W. Bush.
Got a new poll.
Oh, lay it on us, Ken.
ABC News. Voters trust Trump over Biden on the economy and inflation. Just out.
Big surprise.
Washington Post Ipsos.
Arguably the most important part of this election, that and the border, of course. But
well, anytime it's the economy, you know there's going to be a change.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. And if Trump, like we said, if Trump will play this play this right. Make it all about what he can do right.
Ironically, he has to play this like a conservative football team. You have the lead, just run the ball, run the clock out.
Very well said, my young friend. It's 5:22, 5:35. We've got the Gang of Three Amigos. We had some losses yesterday in the celebrity world, and we'll talk about that, among other things. But coming up at 5:30, it's the news with Ken Weaver. What's happening, Ken?